This video will show you basic instructions for putting together this surgical cap for women. It's meant for women that have long hair or want a ponytail tucked inside in the back. Supplies you'll need for this project are, of course, a sewing machine. I would not recommend doing this by hand, especially with the elastic in the back. An 18 by 21 quilting quarter, 3 inches of a 1/4 inch elastic. Any color will do because you won't see it. A safety pin, thread, color of your choice, and of course fabric scissors. Now this is the pattern that I put together. It's meant to be used with an 18 by 21 quilting quarter, and it should be 100% cotton, preferably without stretch. If you're using a different fabric, perhaps something that goes the whole width of 42 inches, you can go ahead and cut the headband and tie center out of a single piece like I did here. And this is your side piece, and this is the top. Notch your side piece at the center front, your cap side, top and bottom, your cap top at the top, and where the elastic casing will go. Now take your cap side, flip it right side down, and you're going to turn the sides a 1/2 inch, so a 1/4 and a 1/4 on both sides, and sew them together and finish off the edge. Then you're going to take your headband tie and your side and put them with the right sides both facing up, and you're going to stitch at the bottom a 1/4 inch seam allowance. And this is what it looks like. Then you flip the headband tie down. You're going to flip it over, and then you're going to turn in a 1/4 inch and turn it up a 1/4 inch on the right side of the cap, and you're going to sew all of that down. Before you sew it though, you want to press that 1/4 inch on the top, the bottom, and at the end, so it's easier to sew. Then you're going to fold it up, match up your corners, and then you're going to stitch alongside all the way across, starting at the side, go up and cross all the way, so that you press both of them together with the cap side. You're going to go all the way down to the end. And this is what it looks like at the end. You might want to iron it if you have an iron. Then you're going to take your cap top and match the notch at the center front with the top of the cap side. And you're going to stitch alongside up to the notch of the elastic, all along the side. So you start there. I like to start at the center front and go to one side and match my notch. Then start over again at the center front and go to the other side. Again, up to that notch. And this is what it looks like when you've done that. I also went ahead and used my serger machine to clean off the edge. You can't really see it here because I'm using white thread, but it is a clean edge. Now what I like to do is I like to top stitch on the cap side. So I put my seam towards the cap side and I top stitch all along the edge there to keep it in place. And now this is what it looks like up to now. You can see that I stitched the top, and now we're going to place the elastic in this section. We have to do the elastic casing. So I turn in about 1/8 of an inch, small enough that I don't use up too much fabric, but you do want to have enough to catch with a needle. And you're going to sew, make it wide enough so that of course your elastic can fit in there, and you're going to create a casing from one end to all the way to the other, but leave the ends open. Now this is what it looks like once you've sewn it together. And you're going to take your 3-inch elastic and put a safety pin at the end, and you're going to thread it through the casing. Now what I like to do is I start threading it, and I just keep going, pulling it carefully so that the elastic doesn't get lost. And when I get to the point where the elastic meets the beginning of my seam right there, I zigzag the elastic in place, and then I will, once it's secure, I will keep threading the elastic. I will do the same thing at the other end and zigzag it in place as well. This is what it looks like at this point. You see that the elastic will give room for a ponytail, and you can see the zigzag in there. major close-up. And what I like to do at the end is I take this side panel and I actually zigzag it in place together to make it a bit more snug and yet allow for room for the hair still. So again, you do that on both sides. You pinch them together right above the tie and you zigzag them in place. And you can see how I've secured that there and there. And you see it kind of creates a pleat which will allow for hair to fit more comfortably. And this is the finished product.